Welcome to Cuba to You. My name is Castaneda. I'm here to tell you what to do on your Cuba trip. So if you're planning on going to Cuba, you're either going on a cruise or you're going, on vacation with a group of people. Maybe you're going by yourself. Maybe you've already booked your hotel stay. Maybe you're staying at an Airbnb there, but you are planning to go. You're excited. You want to get the most Cuban experience you can, and I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you add more value to your trip. I'm going to help you really walk away from Cuba with a truly more enlightened experience. In this video, I'm not going to tell you where the best places to eat are. I'm not going to tell you where the best places to go dancing are, and I'm not going to tell you where the nicest beaches are. The reason I'm not going to do those three is, one, I've actually not been to Cuba yet. I've not been able to go back since my family fled there. But what I'm going to tell you is independent if anyone's been to Cuba. These are just some good things to know from a Cuban who cares about Cuba, who has family in Cuba and friends in Cuba who travel to and from. This is what I hear from them, and these are the things that I know about Cuba that can help you. I am not claiming to know where to go, do you understand, to have the best experience. I am certain that in your travel guide, in your touristy curriculum, I am sure that you will find good places to eat. I'm sure you're gonna find a really cool dancing experience, and you're gonna, visit do a rum tour. I'm sure all of that stuff is gonna be set for you. However, what I'm gonna tell you is gonna add a different type of value to your trip. See, I want you to go to Cuba and come back and sound more informed than when you left. Okay, I want you to come back more informed about Cuba, not less informed. And I'm going to tell you this, just a secret. The majority of people who go to Cuba on a trip come back less informed about Cuba. You might think I'm crazy, but I'm telling you, the majority of people who go come back less informed, less intelligent with regards to Cuba. I'm going to help you avoid that, okay? The first thing, look around you. What do you mean? When you're in Cuba, you're probably going to go to Old Havana. Okay, that's the big tourist spot in Cuba. I want you to look around you and notice the buildings. Notice the architecture around you. What you will see is old, falling apart buildings. What you will see is the appearance of great age. You will see a town, a country, an island that looks like it's frozen in time, that looks like an antique. And while you may be familiar with some of Cuban politics, while you may know that the embargo was placed, therefore production of modern cars, importing of goods from the US ceased there a long time ago, while you may attribute that and say, well, that's probably why there's a lot of old cars here, I want you to look at the places you will be going. And I want you to juxtapose that to the surrounding. That's all I want you to do. I'm not asking you to make a judgment off of that. I want you to just look for yourself. Look around you, and what you see as old and antique, understand that is not supposed to look that way. Okay, number two, and this is important. Cubans are entrepreneurs at heart. In socialist countries, at least in Cuba, it's a socialist country that's filled with capitalists. People are selling Che Guevara shirts. You know what Che Guevara would do if he was alive and saw that? Well, he's a hypocrite, so he probably wouldn't care because he would make money. But the idea of socialism would prohibit that. That would be something that is absurd. But they do that in Cuba. They'll sell anything to you. They'll sell bottle caps to you. There are people who collect bottle caps and sell them on the street. So you might have Cubans walking up to you, wanting to talk to you, wanting to give you a little tour, wanting to tell you a story. What they're trying to do is they're trying to hustle. Okay, they're not trying to hurt you, but they're trying to hustle. They're trying to say, hey, I told you a little story, can I get some money in return? Hey, I can show you some places around, and they're gonna try to do that. So when you get approached by a Cuban, don't just assume that everything they're doing is just gonna be for free, okay? These are people who survive on the regular. They are survival mode, okay? So if they have to make some money being a tour guide, they'll do it. Number three, try your best not to take everything told to you by a tour guide, by a paid official, by somebody working at the hotel you're at perfect face value. In other words, operate under the assumption, not a cynical assumption, a realistic assumption that you're probably not getting the entire scope of the Cuban living situation. You're probably getting a valuable part of it. I'm not saying they're just gonna lie to you the whole time, guys, but you're probably not getting the entire scope of what it is to live in Cuba. Last point, and this is the most important. The Cuba you are about to experience is not the Cuba the Cubans themselves experience. And this is not hyperbole. This is very much true. The Cuba that you're about to experience is one that most Cubans will never see in their life. Ever. Do you understand? Most Cubans, even living in the city you're going to be visiting, will never, ever be able to do the things you're doing. They might never be able to afford the restaurant you're going to go to. They might never be able to afford hotel stays. In fact, there's hotels in Cuba that don't allow Cuban citizens to stay in them. When you come to Miami, when you go to Tampa, when you go to California, you are experiencing what they experience. Yes, it's touristy, but Miamians, Californians, Tampa, they can all go there. In Miami, any Miamian can go to Ocean Drive and eat at the restaurants on Ocean Drive. In Cuba, that is something designated specifically for tourists or those with special privilege. And the only people who have special privilege in Cuba, ladies and gentlemen, are people who follow, agree, support, or work for the regime there. So have a good time. I'm not saying not to. And if you're there on business or something, do what you got to do. But understand that the paradise you are about to witness is not an accurate depiction of what Cubans there witness. And as long as you keep that perspective, you will walk away from it more intelligent. You'll walk away from it with an enjoyment that is not going to be tainted with ignorance. You're going to be able to enjoy it in the way that it should be, kind of like a grapefruit. It's bittersweet. So keep that in mind. I'm not telling you don't enjoy yourself. Have fun. But always remember in the back of your head, you are having fun because you are a tourist. You are having fun because they are manufacturing an experience for you that the majority of Cubans cannot experience because they can't afford it or because their political alignments put them in situations where they can't. With that being said, that's all I have for you today. I just wanted you guys, this is just a very informal conversation. Okay, consider it that. I'm trying to help you get the most value out of your experience. Somebody there is going to tell you where the best place to eat is. Somebody there is going to tell you where the best place to dance is. I'm not concerned with that. But what I am concerned with is that you walk away from this experience really understanding what you're visiting. It is not a paradise. It is not a paradise. It is a prison with a very nice lobby. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. I'm excited to get back to posting again, so if you would just like this video, comment on it, tell me what you think. Tell me, have you been to Cuba? Have you seen what I'm saying? And subscribe, hit the little bell. So with that said, you have a great day. I'm going to enjoy my cigar here. It's a beautiful 90-degree Saturday. You can tell by my sweat. It is a very hot Saturday here in Florida, but you know what? What am I to do? What am I to do but sit back and enjoy it? Thank you.